Hey everybody, it's Linz from Linz Sews. I'm so glad that you're here to join me today. I wanted to talk a little bit about what goes into the inner workings of a handbag. I know it might seem simple to look at a bag and be like, well, Lindsay, I know what goes into it. There's fabric, there's thread, there's, decorative accents, but there's a lot more that goes into a bag, and there's a lot that makes my bags and other artisans' bags unique versus a bag that you might find at a big box store. So I thought I would go through the differences today. Hopefully this is a nice refresher for you sewists at a basic level, and hopefully this is a nice educational, fun video for the public who is watching this at home. All right, so this is the Rudenia bag. This is one of my favorite bags to make. I just recently made it, and it is made by one of my favorite designers. Her name is Erica, and she designs for lavender and twine patterns, and she is amazing. Just everything that she comes up with for these really neat looking accents on these bags. I'm just amazed every time she comes out with something new. I want to try it. So I have thought I would brag on this bag today because it's gotten so many positive reviews and positive feedback from Facebook and Instagram, and just family members and people that I know are like, wow, I really love that. How did you do that? So anyway, I thought I would talk about this one today. But before I delve into the bag itself, I want to talk about something basic, and that would be stabilizers. So I brought some stabilizers here, and these are pretty basic. I don't have a ton of bases that I use right now. I'm learning about new ones every day. I have been a sewist for a long time, but I am new to handbags. Probably only been making handbags for 3 years now. So I am definitely, well versed, but I still haven't branched out in my products very much. So hopefully we will do that soon. I know there's a couple new stabilizers that I'm going to be purchasing to give it a try. I've heard great things about some of them, and there's some that, hey, I'm not crazy about that one. So I'm sure you'll learn about those all in future videos. But today I'm going to talk about these three basic ones. I'll start with this one. This one is called Decaville Heavy, and it is really hard. Kind of hear it. It is more of like a, if I had to describe it, it feels kind of like a wet, hard paper bag, but it's not wet. It just feels kind of soft and malleable, like if it was wet. And it has an adhesive on one side. We would adhere this to pieces of fabric that we wanted to create a lot of structure. So for example, this might be used in the base of a bag like this, where this isn't going anywhere. It's nice and flat, and it creates that flat surface. Then you have, and that would more than likely be applied with an iron or a heat press. A lot of us are still using irons. I did recently get a heat press, but before that I was using iron all the way every time. Then you have this. This is called Decaville Light, and it is a very similar animal, but it is flexible, and it allows the outer areas of the bag to have structure. So you can still move them. They're still, able to sit up and stand up, but it offers structure to those areas. And then you have your woven interfacing. This is, it feels like a cotton that you would use just like this. I brought one here, this one. And this, you can see it kind of flies away, really moves easy. This would be attached to the back of this with an iron, and then it would almost make it not move. So this is a piece that I'm actually using in a bag currently, and you can see that the woven interfacing is on the back already. Therefore, there's not a whole lot of give to this. Like, I can stretch it a little bit, but it doesn't really go anywhere. So that is applied generally to liners or insides of purses, or even if we're not talking purses, it could be inner liner of a blanket, or I do a lot of quilting, so we use different interfacing and batting and so forth for that. There's usually something that goes on the inside of creative makes that give it structure. So that is a basic introduction to stabilizers. Hopefully you enjoyed that little tidbit in there. I want to talk about this bag now in particular. I want to talk about what makes this different than, let's say, a big box store, a big box store bag. A lot of times I'll see bags out at big box stores, department stores. And I'm like, wow, like how are they selling that for $20? Like I cannot make a bag for $20. Well, the answer to that is simple. And I thought that I would delve into that just a little bit today, touch on that just to give people an idea as to what also goes into the making of these bags and why they are not, like why you can't necessarily compare them apples to apples with a bag that you would find at a big box store. Number one, big box stores buy bolts of fabric, and those bolts of fabric probably by the thousands of yards, whereas myself and other smaller artisan designers, we cannot buy that many yards of fabric at once. We just don't have the revenue to do that. But we do buy what we think looks good, and I try to buy what I think will look good to go with a bag, and I do my best to find things that I think are attractive, and hopefully others do too. But that being said, when you buy something from a big box store and they're buying thousands and thousands of bolts of fabric, they can afford to sell that bag for $20 because they had an assembly line worth of people working on that same bag. Someone might have cut out the front, someone might have cut out the back, then there's someone adding the zipper. Those are all things that I do to this bag in order to make it look like this. I have to add each of these zippers. I have to add each of these rivets. These handles, I don't order handles that look like this. I have to make them. I put something in here to make this rolled handle and then stitch it. In some areas, I stitch it by hand with an actual hand upholstery needle in order to make it look like this. I do use an industrial machine. And I also have a domestic machine, and for those of you who are not sewists, domestic machines would be your traditional sewing machine that you would see, your usually white sewing machine. Industrial is going to be like heavy duty and have a big foot pedal, and at some point I'll show you that in my future videos, but for now this is the side of the studio that's clean, so this is what you get to see. Just kidding. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about the parts of the bag that make this unique. This particular bag actually took me probably about 10 hours, if not a little bit more, to make, and that was over a series of days. I am a mom to 3 and a new mom to a 6-month-old. New mom, I guess, meaning she's 6 months old, but new mom as well, even though it's my 3rd. And so I have to sort of do things a little bit at a time, but this took me a couple days at least to make. And each one of these pieces had to be cut out as a separate piece, and the inside and outside. So we're not just talking like these like potential 4 pieces or whatever. Like I can't tell you exactly how many pieces there are here, but there's quite a few. And then pieces like this octagon piece right here, or I had to cut this with an X-Acto knife to get this right. This isn't a piece that I could physically cut with a scissors or with my rotary cutter, which I'll show you in just a little bit here. And each one of these rivets had to be added with like a press. You put them into a press and you press down on it, or sometimes people have a little chisel. It kind of looks like a little stick that you would hammer each of these together. And I'll show you kind of a little bit about how they go together, but I don't want to get, too off topic here, but I wanted to show why does this take 10 hours? Well, because I'm the only person making it. And so I have to really put thought into each piece and make sure that each separate piece is up to par with my quality control before it leaves my shop. Now, in terms of hardware, I wanted to bring a couple things out and do a little bit of a shout out today to a couple of my shops that I really enjoy shopping from. I do have many, so don't feel like you're left out if I don't mention you here today. I just happen to have these supplies on me at the moment, and I promise there will be future videos to show lots of different supplies. So I'll just get into the ones I have here right away. I've got this zipper tape. It comes in a long piece like this. Generally, people would, for handbag making, generally don't buy just zippers with a pull that are X amount long like you would for a jacket. They're buying tape like this, and generally it's going to have no pull on it. I had a pull here that I was going to try to attach to this one, and it didn't really work out for me like I thought it was going to. Let me see if it works here. I had a little fray on the end of the zipper, and sometimes that makes it difficult, but here's a little gray one. They're all different lengths. I think most of the time I get them and they're about 36 inches long, and I'm hoping this works on video. I don't know why I've been having so much not good luck here with this, trying to get this to work on the video today, but we'll see. Hopefully this will be the one. Here we go. Ta-da! Okay, so we attach it, and then, you know, we can open it or close it. And then we usually have to cut it to the length, stitch off the ends, make sure that these are not fraying, and like fuse them. There's lots of different things that go into just preparing just the zipper. And that's only one piece. This bag has 1, 2, 3, 4 zippers. So it takes quite a bit of time to go through and make these bags. I wanted to point out this zipper pull here, this donut. I got it on my bag, but this is from Saya Swag, so thank you, Saya, for that. They are gorgeous. And then we have these rectangle rings. These, I believe, are from Saya as well. Thank you again for those. And then I want to explain, I don't have rectangle rings on this bag, but they would typically go over a strap like this, and this isn't even the right size strap, but I'm just kind of showing it to you today for looks. You can see what happens with it. And it would be a decorative accent, or you would wrap around it so it would be held by that. Lots of different things you can do with these rectangle rings. These are just some examples. There's this, which is a strap adjuster. It actually has a middle bar, and that helps you adjust the strap. This is just a strap that I made for something else, and unfortunately it wasn't the right length, so I'm saving it in case I need to use it for something else, but I'm using it as my prop today. So you can see this adjusts. It doesn't adjust on here. It's not the right size, but gives you an idea. And then we have strap ends like this. I don't know if you can see those. These are from Lauren at More Me Know, so thank you for those. This is also hers, I believe, these zipper ends that I was showing you on the bag. And that is over there. And then just so you can get an idea as to how a strap end works, let's say this is the bottom of your strap. This isn't the right size. These are too small, but I'm using them for another project. And I just thought I'd pull them out because I had them ready. But they would go end to end with this, and it would create the ending of a nice strap. And they're usually held in with screws or some other form of holding that on there for you. So in addition to that, you've got your rivets I was talking about. Now these are 2 pieces. There's one end, and then you've got the other end that has a post, whereas this one doesn't have, you can see, I don't know, it doesn't have a post on it. There we go. Now these, like I said, are either put into a press or somebody's actually hand hammering them together so that they go together, something like that. And you wouldn't see the middle part because it's actually through the fabric on both sides. So you can see these beautiful rivets right there. When it comes to actually using our rotary cutter when we're cutting our fabric, we would use our ruler. Now this is a OmniGrid ruler, and it is just a basic ruler. I used it in quilting. I have a little bit of a quilting background, and I've been a sewist for a while. Like I said, though, recently doing handbags as of the last 3 years, but still sew other things. So I'm going to show this one off today, but I do have some cute sparkly ones from some awesome shops, and so I will be pointing those out again in future videos as well. I just happen to have this one handy. Kind of lost my piece that I was going to use. Oh, here we go. Okay. So when it comes to actual cutting, now when we want to cut something, like I said, we kind of put everything on our ruler. We line it up. If we want like an inch cut, we have to make sure it's all lined up. And then we use our rotary cutter. So this one is a beautiful rainbow rotary. You can kind of see the disc coming out there, hopefully, the cutter. This is from Soulful Therapy. Thank you, Amy. I love it. It is rainbow and amazing. And so basically you have a, let's say, an inch here, and we're going to line it up with our ruler, and we're going to make the cut. and then you have your inch. Now, that's with every single piece. It has to be precise. It's a precise thing. Otherwise, you would end up with a bag that looked like, you know, really interesting. Not in a good way. So anyway, just wanted to explain that. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it's a lot of knowledge and hopefully it wasn't boring. I would hope that you would like to come back and visit me and join me in future videos. I will be leaving you here, but just know that my heart and soul go into every single bag that I make, and I hope that you enjoy them, enjoy seeing them, and enjoy making them if you are a fellow sewist. I love seeing everybody's makes on Facebook, and just being a part of the sewing community makes me happy. This is a cathartic thing for me. And I love learning more things every day, and I hope that you will enjoy learning with me if that's why you're watching, or just watching because you think it's interesting. I would love that. If you'd like to see more of myself and or other sewists makes, please feel free to join my Facebook group, Lynn Sews. And you can also hopefully hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would love to see you and hear what you have to say, what you want to know, hear what you already know, whatever it is, I want to know. But you can also see my make and my other makes at lynnsews.com. So feel free to go there. If you have questions, I will reach out via email, lynnsews@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok, and I also have a Facebook business page, but I am referring people over to the Facebook group because it's going to be easier for me to interact with the sewist and public in that arena. So thank you so much again for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Bye.